Hi, everyone. This is Jeff Kale with Keller Williams Realty and realestatecareer.com. And I've got David here from college. I keep wanting to say College Grove, but it's College Station, Texas, near Katy, Texas, an hour from Austin. David, thanks for coming today and becoming willing to, share your story with everyone. So welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so I'm chatting with David here today, and I have so much respect for this young man. David is 21 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, 21.
Thank you.
21 years old. He gets into real estate. He starts with KW, okay? And he's at KW for a while, and then he hears that things might be better at a virtual brokerage. Maybe he's going to make more money. He goes over to the virtual brokerage and finds out in reality, he ends up with I won't get into split amounts, but with a bigger split. That means the broker takes more of your money at the virtual brokerage. All sounded good. He's there for, how long were you there for, by the way?
3 months.
3 months. And then he comes back to KW. He mentioned family and coming back home. He came back home to KW where he loves it, where there's a sense of family. And you know what? He's doing really well. And I'm going to let David tell the story, but I just got to share this with you guys. David joined a team, but guess what? He's not part of that team anymore because he's created his own team at Keller Williams. And that's the whole thing about all this, is that you are control of your destiny. He's 21 years old. He's closed 20 transactions so far this year. Can you tell I'm excited for I'm so excited for David. Virtual high five. Here we go. Let's do it. There we go.
Oh,
20 transactions. Dude, tell us, everyone, your experience.
yeah. So kind of starting from the beginning, whenever I got my license, I got it back in 2019. So June of 2019, I was looking for a brokerage to start out at, and I interviewed a couple of different brokerages, Century 21, Remax, to mention a few, and then KW, obviously. So I ended up signing up with KW just because of the education that they were going to be able to provide for specifically new agents. And so I went through the Ignite courses, loved those. I was finally able to learn how to actually be successful in real estate. And so I went through the Ignite courses, and then I had a couple of buddies that were also real estate agents. And so we would always get together and just do like lead generation calls and do whatever activities we were supposed to do in order to help grow our business. And so about a year and a half into doing that, I had a few transactions underneath my belt, although it wasn't nearly as much as I'd anticipated or I wanted to have by that time in my career. And EXP was a brokerage that I was told about from a couple of different people. And the lure to EXP was essentially that they were a brokerage that was able to help educate agents as well. So similar to what KW was able to do. And so my philosophy on that was, well, I'm not where I wanted to be right now at KW. So maybe I need to go somewhere else and get different training, different systems that I can put in effect in order to grow my business. And so I went over to EXP. I joined a team that hopefully was going to be able to provide some more training for me as well, and stayed there for about 3 months. The biggest reason that it was harder for me during those 3 month period is because instead of now having I say team, my group of friends that we would go and lead generate in the morning and essentially hold each other accountable. At that point, it was just me taking on the world because we had no office location here in Bryan College Station. So even though I was a part of a team, I was a part of a virtual team that was at a virtual brokerage. And so in College Station, I was the only EXP agent that I knew of. And so 3 months of trying to take on the world on my own, like you had mentioned, I kind of remembered, hey, I have this family over at KW that I can go back to, and they were able to help me out. They're willing to take me back as well, and so I joined back up with KW, got some proper mentorship programs put in place as well, and ever since then, my business really did start to take off.
Yeah, and as I mentioned to you, I'm speaking to a lot of people. Everyone's pretty much saying the same thing. I mean, some people, just to be real, some people, they can go and they can work at a virtual brokerage. You are on your own. You're doing it alone, right? Like you said, you don't have an
Yeah,
office to go into and any of that. And there's something to be said about being around people who are like-minded. There's an energy in the office, all that. And
synergy.
yeah, you came back home where you belong at KW, and now you've got this team. You are a freaking superstar, and
Thank you.
I mean, when David told me he was 21, I was all blown away. I was thinking, wow, I wish I had started 21 because, you're setting the stage for your entire life right now with everything you're doing. How are you getting business? Share with everyone how you generate leads.
Yeah. So right now, I focus on two for the most part, direct mail marketing and sphere of influence. The biggest one is direct mail marketing. That's what really started growing my business. And so I've stuck with that. I really started getting a decent amount of business from it last year. And so this year I decided to 10X that. And so I ended up, I specialize working with investors and specifically multifamily investors. And so I found all the duplex, fourplex, and triplex owners in Bryan College Station. And I just started mailing to them once a month. So it was the exact same people. I got the big list of multifamily in Bryan College Station, divided it into 4 lists, and then I did every week I did one list. And so I did that at the end of the list. On the next month, I would start doing it again. So every single multifamily I did once a month. After doing that, last year, I think that took me from roughly about like 750,000 in volume to almost 4 million in volume just last year. And so this year I decided let's 10x that. So I found a bigger list, a bigger group of people that I was going to start mailing to, and that's where a vast majority of my business has come to. And year to date, we've closed about 6 million, and have 2 million under contract right now that should close before the end of the year.
That is really something. And this is David's way of doing this, and other people that have interviewed, some use social media, and they're not doing this kind of marketing. And that's a great thing about real estate is there's so many ways to sell real estate. You do whatever works for you. You found something that works really well for you. So
It actually goes on to a point. So earlier, before I moved over to EXP, one of the reasons I don't think I was having as much success over at KW is because I was trying to do like 50 different forms of lead generation, right? And so everyone was telling me, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this in order to get leads. This is the only way that works. And so I was trying, 5 or 6 different things, which means none of them I really had enough time or energy to really focus on and be the main thing, the one thing. So just something to add on to that point.
yeah. So have you read the book, The One Thing? Have you gone through that?
Oh yeah, love
Okay.
it.
That's where that all comes from, by the way. The book, The One Thing, for those of you starting out, you definitely want to pick up that book. But you were just chasing too many rabbits, essentially, right? Digging too many holes, chasing too many rabbits. So, yeah. So that's great. So you found what works for you. It's, you're taking it, 10xing it to the next level, and congratulations to you. So, what would you say to someone who is thinking about a virtual brokerage versus KW?
Yeah. So again, you had mentioned earlier that virtual brokerage isn't necessarily bad. The biggest thing just to think about a virtual brokerage is, um, are you are they going to be able to provide for you uh, the help and the education and the training that you would actually need with them not being in the area? And I have not been able to find that yet. I'm not saying it's not out there. It wasn't what I anticipated over at EXP, just because even the education they provided for me, there was no accountability with actually holding it and actually doing it. Um, so the biggest thing for me would just be, do you think it would be better for you to take on the world by yourself, or take it on with a team or a community or a family?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that I find that lacks with that model. And like I said, and just so you all know, we are not bashing any competition. That's not what this is about. These are real conversations. Some people it works well for, and and that's great. Whatever works for you. So, you know what, David, I want to thank you for coming. Now, for those of you listening, if you have any referrals in college, why do I keep saying college? I guess it's College Grove, College Station. I'm originally
College
from San
Station,
Diego, so we have
Texas.
a College Grove there. College Station.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so send them to David. David, what are the other areas near College Station that you work?
Yeah, Bryan, Texas is the biggest one. So Bryan and College Station is where I specialize in. There's a couple small cities around Bryan, College Station: Caldwell, Brenham, Calvert, Franklin. They're within 30-minute drive. So really any of those areas around Bryan, College Station. But
Awesome. So send your referrals to David. Thanks again, David, and make it a great day.